This is the fun one, the one that I think everybody has been waiting for coming, and that's when we get the trains running properly. A big hello to you, so great to see you, hope I find you well. I'm Jenny Kirk and we're out in the garden for another episode of the rebuild on the Garden Railway. I really need to trim that, but you're not here for my gardening woes, you're here to see the trains running, and that is precisely what we're looking to do today. So what have we got to do? Well, I've already done a test running, and you may have seen a little bit of footage surface on Facebook, but that was using crocodile clips and just MacGyvering something together, and that's not really useful for the long-term running of this railway. So instead, what I've hatched an idea for is to have the control system safely ensconced in the shed where Trinity Road used to be, and I'm going to use some plastic conduit to get the wires all the way out here into the garden and to solder them to the track, so we'll get a really good reliable power supply that'll actually run in all weathers. Now I also want that conduit to be pretty unobtrusive, so I'm going to be digging a trench out to put that in and burying it underneath what will eventually be the roadbed where the track will go once we get this conifer tree behind me taken out. But, well, I've already been to B&Q, I've got all the bits and pieces, so let's get on with trying to get the trains running today on the Garden Railway. And I really do need to give my bush a trim here, it's growing wild. Today's video comes in association with Train-O-Matic, makers of DCT decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support comes from...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model double O gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com and don't miss out on your latest loco.
So I've already started some work here, and I've been digging out a little bit of a trench so I can hide the conduit, and I've actually dug out some of the original track bed of the railway, and you can see there's a reason that it was all just cracking up. That's what the original O-gauge Garden Railway was actually laid on. That's almost nothing at all. So I've got that out of the way, and this trench, there's some plastic conduit. I'm going to run the cable through that, solder to the rails at one end, and with a few bends and twists, I'm actually going to run it into the shed through the original little flaps that I put in for that double O-gauge Garden Railway a long time ago. They've been sealed up with a load of mastic just to stop the weather and creepy crawlies getting in, but I'm going to drill a hole and feed the conduit through the door, and that'll get the power from the shed right out here. This is the business end of the conduit, and I've already started digging out the trench, and the track currently just ends here. Until we get the conifer out of the way, that's just how it's going to have to be. I need to get the conduit to be under the level that the track will eventually head off in that direction, and it'll just be buried in concrete roadbed, and that's absolutely fine. The plastic conduit will protect everything. So I'm just digging out and getting the conduit to the point where the wires can come out. I'm going to solder them to the underside of these rails, and that will be our main track feed. You might remember in a previous video I've already done the joining links between all the rails. Now, people did ask me about a track bus, and actually on this I don't need it. It's quite a simple layout, and with the O-gauge track it's something like code 123 or 124. That's actually quite beefy metal, and as long as you get a good solid bridge where the fish plates are, then actually the track itself will act as our bus. And it's something that if you've got a more complicated layout, or maybe you've got track that's a much finer grade, then you shouldn't really do that. But out here, I think that's absolutely fine for what I'm looking to do. I've been hard at work out here, maybe about an hour's work. I've got the conduit in, I've soldered up as well to the rails, and that wasn't really too tough a job. I've done so much soldering out here, it's really just a case of following the simple method. Plenty of flux, scratch through the oxide coating if necessary, and just get that wire soldered on. I fed the wire through the conduit tubing and just made sure I had plenty of slack. Once the conduit's in place with all of the elbows on, it's actually really difficult to feed the wire through, so it's best to do this in sections so that you're not ending up having to go back, fish out conduit just to make sure that that wire goes through. Once I was happy with this end, it's on into the shed, and let's pick up the wire there and get the controller plugged in. Got the conduit through that 20mm hole that I used the spade drill attachment on the drill to get through, and then that has meant that we can get the wire in here and have the control unit in the dry. Now I'm using my GaugeMaster Prodigy Express controller. This is one that I had spare. It's recently been repaired by GaugeMaster, and I'd like to thank them for getting it back up and running from a mystery fault that I had with it. And I've got it secured to the wall here at where you can see the remnants actually of Bolton Trinity Road, so there's still going to be some life in here for model trains. Actually at the moment all I want to do with this is have it provide the basic power to the rails. I don't actually need to control the locomotives because that comes from the HM7000 Bluetooth app here on my iPhone, and that means I can sit outside in the sun, control the trains from the comfort of a deck chair, and actually have them shuffle backwards and forwards with complete confidence. And ultimately when we get the rest of the loop into place, we can have them going round and round with some lovely long freight trains. But for now, let's just go out and enjoy the trains shuffling backwards and forwards. I have to say, I'm really liking this. I've finally got a garden railway that just works. It's ground level, it's substantial, and once we get it all finished, we can sit back and watch some quite long freight trains running around. But for now, I hope you've really enjoyed this. Please like, share, subscribe, check us out over on Patreon, and check out the full merch store down below. But until next time, happy modelling, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments about how your garden railway is doing. Bye for now. Today's video comes in association with Train-O-Matic, makers of DCT decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support is provided by...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model OO gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com, and don't miss out on your latest loco.
I'd like to thank everybody over on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to our Patreon heroes. Without you guys over on Patreon, we really wouldn't be able to keep making the video content that you see on this channel. And don't forget that you can also head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk and check out the different tiers of rewards. Thank you so much. You are absolute legends.